Hello art friends, my name is Fleshwad and I'm back. I was originally going to be on hiatus for a little bit longer. However, I wouldn't really be able to call myself a horror channel if I didn't upload a video on Friday the 13th, now would I? I set up a temporary playlist of all of my Friday the 13th videos in case you want to binge. But for today, I thought it would be fitting to create the ultimate horror villain. A lot of my Friday the 13th videos revolve around either horror movies or serial killers, but I've never made one where I combine multiple horror villains into one horror serial killer, which is what I'm doing today. I have actually done this challenge twice before. The first time, it was titled the Mishmash Character Challenge, and it is how May, my beloved icon and main OC, came to be. The second time, I did this challenge with horror dolls and created this guy. I will link both of those videos in the description if you want to check them out. In this video, I will also be taking 6 different characters and combining them into one horror villain. I asked you guys on Instagram to share with me some of your favorite horror villains. I knew I would get some repeats, so I only kept this up for 30 minutes. And here are the results. Like I mentioned, a couple of repeats, and so we ended up with these 6 characters. Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th, Ghostface or Billy Loomis from Scream, Pennywise from the It remake, Billy the Puppet from Saw, Arthur Fleck from Joker, and The Thing from The Thing. I did get a couple of other random answers, which were really good suggestions, like the twins from The Shining, but I already have a video with them. Also Slender Man, which he does kind of take form in at the end of the drawing, but that was completely unintentional. Xenomorph, but I've never seen Alien, so I didn't want to pick that one. We got one for Michael Myers, but I wasn't going to draw Jason and Michael in the same video, and if I had to choose for Friday the 13th, I'm going with Jason. Oh, and last weird one was Harry Warden, which I had no idea who that was until I looked it up, and he is from My Bloody Valentine, which don't come for me, I've never seen. The first 4 are pretty obvious ones, as they were also the ones that were submitted multiple times. However, the last 2, I wasn't really going to add in, which in retrospect is hilarious since those 2 alone drastically changed the look of the drawing. Also, The Thing was submitted by my boyfriend and it's his favorite movie. They're also making a remake this year, and so how could I not? And Joaquin Phoenix just killed it in Joker, so I had to add him in as well. Although you can definitely argue that Joker is not a horror movie, and I will not complain because you're right, but whatever. I got to work on the sketch and I was really feeling the whole split head, split personality thing at the moment. So seeing as The Thing was one of our inspirations, I really wanted to embrace that aspect. I also made a list of some of the details that stood out to me the most between all of the villains, such as masks, which we see in Jason, Ghostface, and Billy. And if they aren't accompanied by the stereotypical horror mask, then they are most likely wearing makeup, such as Pennywise and Joker. And if it's none of the above, then they are probably wearing a human face mask. They are also all male, and most have humanoid bodies, which are covered by either a suit of some sort, or a uniform, or a human skin sack. And last but not least, a whole lot of red. I decided to give our killer 2 heads that are connected as in The Thing, and one head would be covered with a mask, which is where Jason, Ghostface, and Billy came in. The other would have clown makeup features, which is where Joker and Pennywise come in. By the way, this drawing is done 100% in Procreate, and it took me roughly an hour and 20 minutes. I decided to stick with the Procreate pencil brush for the entire drawing instead of just the sketch like I normally do. So the finished product is definitely a bit sketchy. When it came to the body, I wanted our killer to wear a suit, since that's what most of the horror villains you guys chose were wearing. Nothing too special there. However, my boyfriend pointed out at the end that the suit was very reminiscent of Slender Man, which, like I mentioned earlier, was completely unintentional. The suit was actually supposed to reference Jigsaw or Billy, but I didn't want to give my serial killer a bow tie. I just feel like that's not what he would wear, so choosing not to add in the bow tie definitely pulled back from the Billy aspect, but my killer would not have worn a bow tie. For this character, I really just wanted to achieve maximum creepy, like maximum I would never want to see this guy in real life vibes, so hopefully I achieved that at least a little. Let me know in the comments down below if you'd ever want to run into this dude or not. I had a tiny bit of trouble with choosing a style or design for the mask, as I didn't want to just copy Jason, but I still wanted it to resemble him. However, I was so focused on the hockey mask / Jason portion that I completely forgot about Ghostface. So in the end, I settled on a hockey mask with a Ghostface-esque design. So like I mentioned, I used the Procreate pencil brush to line this drawing, which led to an overall sketchy design, but also let me get a lot of little tiny lines in, which I completely adore. I was also able to get some pretty creepy details added in, such as the staples to hold this clown's mouth and eyes open widely. I also decided to give him Jokerish hair last minute. I almost left him bald, but seeing as Jason was the only horror villain without an excessive amount of hair, I ultimately decided against it. And then my least favorite part, the coloring. Okay, new goal, by the end of 2020, I want to at least like coloring. I don't have to love it, but at least like it, you know? I think it really stems from my zero knowledge on coloring, so I think if I tried to learn a little bit more, watched a couple of tutorials, I really would fall in love with it. So that will definitely be my end of the year goal. Anyways, I went with a very pink skin tone, which doesn't actually resemble any of the chosen villains, but it just felt right. I gave him the Joker makeup and some of Pennywise's details added in. For the hair, I originally wanted it to be orange, but my sister pointed out that it was too close to Chucky, who wasn't on the original list, so I decided to make it red instead. Then I of course added some blood and some dirt to the mask, and our ultimate serial killer was complete. Fun fact that most of you probably know, but the name for the serial killer Good Guy Del Chucky, whose full name is Charles Lee Ray, was actually a combination of 3 notorious killers: Charles Manson, Lee Harvey Oswald, and James Earl Ray. With that fact in mind, I wanted to make my killer have the same name origin. However, trying to mishmash 6 different character names doesn't really work, so I decided to name him Gray, which is seemingly what Pennywise's real last name was. His full name thought to be Robert Gray. So here's my combination serial killer for this Friday the 13th. I've been keeping him a secret for almost a month now, so I'm very happy to finally share him with you. I might work on his design and backstory a little more in the future, as I am definitely going to keep him as a main OC. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you are happy to hear my voice again. As always, if you liked the art in this video, make sure to click the like button and subscribe if you haven't. Thank you so much for watching, art friends. Until the next video. Bye!